family all of a sudden deciding they don't want to have this press conference. Can you give us more detail as to why not?
Well, the accident itself was just what happened, and George did what I think most people would do, is he got out and helped people in need. That's who he's always been. And I think what happened with them today was they were very worried, and I think were advised by some family and friends that they really should not get involved with anything having to do with George Zimmerman. And that's really sad, that they can't even say that George did something good for them because people out there believe that he's still so toxic, even though he's been acquitted. So it's quite frustrating to have to live through that.
Mark, there's a lot of skepticism that this even happened in Sanford. There are people who believe that this was either staged or George Zimmerman was never there in the first place.
Sure. And there are people who are going to believe that no matter what. There are people who are going to believe whatever they want to believe no matter what the facts are. But the facts are this. Deputy sheriff showed up and identified George Zimmerman as being on scene. Fire department showed up, identified George Zimmerman as being on scene, and the family identified him as being on scene. He was actually getting ready to leave when the deputies came up to him and sort of brought him back to the scene for a moment to actually talk to him. He did not need to be a witness because he didn't actually see it. So those who want to believe it was staged, they can go right ahead and believe that. They can believe the earth is still flat. Or that the Earth is still the center of the universe. It just happens not to be true and contested by all of the facts that we know about.
Did you ever find out why he didn't tell you about this at that meeting right after?
Because I don't think he considered it to be utterly significant. Everybody else does. That's the George who did what he did for Sherman Ware. That's the same George who did what he did for mentoring children. That's just who George Zimmerman is before February 26, 2012 and who he still is today.
So our bottom line is your office, the defense team, had nothing to do with this whatsoever in the face of some online skeptics who say, oh, this was some sort of PR stunt.
Absolutely not. I will acknowledge it was awfully coincidental 4 or 5 days after the verdict, but it was not set up or staged. Really, do you think that we would have set up a family of 4 on the side destroying a SUV for the... Those people who want to believe that are going to believe it, and they're entitled to their unreasonable beliefs.
And Mark, the other thing as a follow-up is, one of the things I got via Twitter was a website that has their pictures, their names, their faces, the children's faces. So it becomes more serious in light of that, I would think.
Those people want their privacy, and they deserve it. They are not a part of this case. We're never a part of this case. They happen to be an incidental event that George helped them out in. The one thing that they asked is that their privacy be maintained. So let's just do that. Leave them be. They don't want to talk about it. Let's not demand that they talk about it.
We learned that there were 2 people who were there to help this family. George was one of them. Who was the other?
I don't know. Somebody else, another just good Samaritan who came by and helped out.
Where was Zimmerman on his way to when he stopped to help them?
Just between one place and the other in Seminole County. We're obviously very careful about where he's staying, where he's going because of these security concerns.
Is he moving about a little more now since you put him?
I think he's taking a break, taking some time to himself and his family. So no, he's not really just wandering about.
Hey, Mark, have you had a chance to ask him? I mean, did he specifically reach in this vehicle and help these people out, get the man's seatbelt off? Can you be more specific as to what he supposedly did?
Really can't. They came up to the car, which was teetering a bit, so they were securing the car, making sure that it didn't move, and was also helping them getting out of the car, getting the door open or window open, and getting them out. Thank God they were all seatbelted in, so nobody was hurt, because Mom and Dad had a couple of injuries, but nothing significant, and the kids were fine.
Who was the other person that was mentioned in the police report?
I don't know who it was. Yeah. Okay, guys? Sure.
Sorry. I arrived a little late. Can you tell me why the family or the man from the family who was originally going to speak canceled today?
My understanding is, in talking to some of their friends and family, they were just concerned that their involvement in anything having to do with George Zimmerman may cause them blowback. It may be a problem for them, so they just decided not to. And that's certainly their right. I think we should respect it.
Does George have any specific reaction to hearing that?
No, not at all. He's fine. He'd rather we leave them in peace.
Had George Zimmerman ever met this family before?
Oh, no. They were on the side of the road and then turned on its side vehicle. They never knew them.
We've actually heard they've changed their number, really trying to, had any trouble contacting them, any idea on that?
They want to be left alone. The best thing that media could do, now that the story has been sort of identified and told, is to grant them the one wish they have, which is their privacy.
Was he alone that day?
We're really not talking about a lot of he was with somebody else, but we're not really getting into who or anything like that.
On another related event,
I don't believe he was an attorney. He didn't have an esquire after his or her name. I think it was just somebody who filed a pleading. Not practicing in Florida, it's not going to be accepted by the court, and it's not good. There's no foundation for it.
So it's frivolous.
It's frivolous, I would think, yeah. Okay. Great, thanks, guys. I appreciate it, John. Sure thing.